Hi, we've teamed up with UK Auto Claims to see if you could be eligible to score thousands in compensation. If you've had any cars, vans or motorbikes on finance between 2007 and 2021, go to ukautoclaims.co.uk to start your free simple check. Loads of you will have overpaid and payouts could be worth thousands, so you've got to look into it. Hit up the link below and check now for free.
Marty from AFTV. I am here with Kenya. We have unfortunately lost in the Champions League on aggregate 3-1 to Paris Saint-Germain. Listen, I'm going to be honest, this is one of the first cams I've done this evening. Talk to me, Kenya. Just let's take it from the start of that game. Let's just come on.
I'm just sorely disappointed. You know, it's another season that we're going to look back at and say there's nothing to show for it. That's what I'm starting to get frustrated with. And I said last season that, you know, you can't have a season like that and walk away with nothing. And we're now walking away with nothing again. And this is where fans really need to start asking themselves if this is acceptable for this club. Are you going to accept, oh, well, we'll have a big moment and we'll beat Real Madrid 3-0 and we'll go away to the Bernabeu and we'll beat them 2-1 and we'll have this amazing night that we'll always remember. But when I ask you to follow on the story, you're going to say to me, oh, well, at home, we didn't play how we're supposed to play. We lost 1-0, and then we went away from home, and we didn't show up. That's what I'm starting to understand. That's what I'm seeing now. And it's starting to become, it's indefensible. I'm sorry. People are going to say, well, they played well enough. So what? Playing well doesn't equal winning things. It doesn't equal goals. And we saw it in the first half. That first half is the perfect representation of Arsenal this season. Who gives a shit if you've got the possession? Who gives a fuck if you've got all these corners and free kicks? Fucking do something with it. I've just seen the same players hitting walls, and it's just so frustrating. I watched that game today, and I'm like 60th minute, and I'm like, manager, make a change. You bring on Trossard, it works, perfect. But you bring on Ben White, who you want to overlap, but you're going long with every ball. So when is he going to see the ball? What kind of tactical decision is that? Why not? I'm looking at our midfield and I'm looking at Thomas Partey, who is obviously not having a good game. He's given away one of the goals. He's literally, I felt sorry for Declan Rice at times. The guy's trying to get forward and he's having to drop into 6 because the 6 isn't doing his job. And it's so frustrating. Why not get a Zinchenko on? Why not get an Ethan Nwaneri on? These are players you're supposed to trust. And I'm generally, I've got no excuses to cover up this tactical failure, really. It's embarrassing.
So Kenya, you break it down really well. So where does the blame for today, where does this lie?
I mean, in my opinion, it's a mixture of everybody. The players, look, you're on the pitch. I think those goals given away, again, set piece. Why are we giving away? We did it against Bournemouth. We did it against Crystal Palace. We're doing it every week. That's supposed to be your strongest area. And yet, again, at a set piece, Fabian Ruiz has just stood on the box, similar to how Eze was. Just stood there in the box. Only Saliba tries to close him down. Everyone else just stands there and stares at him. And he bangs it in. It's an excellent goal. We then give away a penalty. That is so preventable. Hand out like this. Like, I know people will say, people know me, I'm one of Miles' biggest, I big the kid up all the time. But come on, man, that's the basics of football. Your hand shouldn't be out like that. It should be tucked behind you. So to me, and then I look at the manager and I'm like, why is it that I've got no experience? Why is it that I can see our midfield is dying and you don't make a change? You did it in the first leg. You waited till the 88th minute to bring on a change. You're waiting again too late, and now it's cost us a final.
And I think with that, you make some really good points. But unfortunately for Arsenal, today we had Trossard to bring on, but we do have a lack of personnel. It's not even just sometimes bringing a player on.
No. Whose fault is that? This manager went into the season. I feel like people forget. We talk about January. Let's not talk about January. Let's go to the summer when he failed to get a striker. We failed to get attacking players. He sold Smith Rowe. He sold Eddie. He sent Fabio Vieira out on loan. Who else am I forgetting? Reece Nelson on the last day. You know what? I'm not saying that these guys are good enough, but if you're going to get rid of them, replace them. So now when we're going to play PSG and we need someone off the bench and you're seeing kids and you're seeing washed up left backs that you don't trust, whose fault is that? You had 2 opportunities to rectify that and you didn't. You sat there and said, you was arrogant. You sat there and said, right, I was 2 points off winning the league with Havertz. This is no disrespect to Havertz at all. I love Kai. But we know it still wasn't enough. That should be right. We're so close. We're so close to clinching something. Let me go and get something a bit extra. So when people say to me, oh, there's nothing to bring off the bench, this guy and that guy, I'm sorry. Look at PSG. I know PSG is a very rich
They had some
club.
options, didn't they?
They're a very rich club, but
we.
Goncalo Ramos, is he a world beater to you? Is he? Look at Inter Milan last night, a 37-year-old they brought off the bench. He scores the winner. That's the difference, having options. So when people say about, oh, well, he didn't have this guy, he didn't have that guy, that is your fault. The board failed to prepare for these moments. They sacrificed the season to save a bit of coins. And now me and you who go to games, me and you who buys merch, who goes to all these games, who comes out on a night like this and supports this club, all those fans that went to Paris, again, they've been let down. That's the fact.
So, listen, mate, you make some fantastic points. You really do, and you know, I completely, I'm there with you. So, where does Arsenal Football Club go now? Obviously, we've got 3 games of the season, if that's what you want to call what we've got left of season. You know, where do we go, and what do you want to see immediate change-wise?
I mean, the season's done. You have to win those 3 games now. You've put pressure on it again. When I was saying it against Crystal Palace and everyone was saying that I'm a hater, and I was saying, why didn't you just win that game? Oh no, it's not important, Champions League. Now we're out of it. Now we're in the top 4 race and we might not even get in it. Do you know what I mean? Like, these are the things, like, to me, you now have to beat Liverpool, you now have to beat Newcastle, you have to beat Southampton. We've now got the hardest running out of any of the other top 7 teams that want to get in the Champions League spots. And to me, look, I don't like asking for people to get sacked, but what I'm seeing is a sackable season. Falling out of every single cup, dreadfully.
Do you say we sack Arteta?
I'm not saying that, but it's something that has to be considered now, because we cannot keep going on and saying, right, we had this big moment, we beat Man City, we're unbeaten against the Big 6, we're going to Real Madrid doing this, we beat PSV 7-1. Who gives a shit if you don't win anything? Who actually cares? We Arsenal fans can't sit here and say these things and then hate on Tottenham for saying the same things. It's so silly to me. So the club needs to look at that internally now and say, this is your make or break. If he's going to stay another season, next season, it's not a Carabao Cup, it's not an FA Cup. You must win the league. You must win the Champions League. Simple as that. I don't know what else to say.
No, I don't. I think you've broken the whole situation down really well. Thank you very much, Kenyah. It's been a pleasure watching it with you. Marty from AFTV signing out.